Hi, this video is about Bhishma. In the last video, we went over Satyavati's willingness to marry to King Shantanu if Shantanu promised in return that Satyavati's son would become the king after Shantanu and that Devavrata, who was Ganga's and Santanu's son, would not become the king. Do you think King Shantanu agreed to Satyavati's marriage conditions? What does he choose? Does he continue to choose Devavrata to be the next king, or he agrees to Satyavati's marriage conditions? Let's find out in this video. After hearing these terms for marriage, King Shantanu was shocked and was super confused as to what he should do. He remembers how he suffered in the past for his promises to marry Ganga. In this new but very similar situation, he does not agree to these terms of marriage and leaves in dismay to Hastinapura. Many days pass by, and Shantanu remained super confused about what to do. His health started deteriorating at a very rapid pace, as his mind was confused and was sad. He was in agony about not having Satyavati, and on one hand, he was in deep love with Satyavati, and on the other hand, he was in great love for his son Devavrata. Devavrata was the most capable king after him. He knew it from the bottom of his heart. He did not want to make the same mistake he had done in the past with his promises to Ganga. Devavrata was an all-rounder king who had learned the art of political science from Brihaspati and Shukracharya, scriptures from Vashishta, mental and spiritual science from Sanat Kumaras, duties of the Brahmanas from Markandeya Rishi, art of warfare from Parshuram, and got many celestial weapons from Lord Indra. There could be no better king than Devavrata. Shantanu's mind could not make a solid decision. His mental confusion and problems caused health problems in his body. Shantanu kept his sadness to himself. He stopped attending to his duties as a king and used to remain in his chamber. Devavrata was very close to his father, so he was able to quickly sense that something was not right. He could notice that his father's health was deteriorating very rapidly. He was concerned, so he asked his father what was the source of his worry and why there was such a rapid setback in his health. Shantanu gave vague answers to Devavrata. Those vague answers were not convincing to Devavrata. He knew there was more to it than what his father was sharing superficially. He went to Shantanu's charioteer and asked him for all the details of what his father was doing and why he was so anxious and worried lately. The charioteer told him everything. Everything about his love for Satyavati and their meetings. Devavrata asked the charioteer to take him to Satyavati's home. He meets Satyavati's father and asks his permission to take Satyavati to the kingdom and make her the queen to his father. Satyavati's father was ready to give his daughter for marriage to the king as long as Satyavati's son were to become the king after King Shantanu. Devavrata smiled. He said that he would make sure that these terms were fulfilled. Satyavati's father, though, was not convinced by this. He knew very well that Devavrata was already the Yuvaraja, or the current crown prince, and so he shared Devavrata about his concern, to which Devavrata replied, I pledge, I renounce my right to the throne in favor of my future brothers born to Satyavati. The fisherman chief who had raised Satyavati was moved by this pledge, but he was still not sure about what is the guarantee that Devavrata's son or his sons would not fight with his grandsons for the throne in future. To that, Devavrata replied, I would never marry, observe lifelong celibacy, and serve as a lifelong servant to the throne of my father's kingdom of Hastinapur. This shocked everyone. There was a terrible thunder in the clouds. All the devas from the heaven showered flowers on Devavrata and called him by the name Bhishma, Bhishma in unison. The name Bhishma stands for the one who takes a terrible vow and also fulfills it. No person in the history has ever taken such a terrible vow with such conviction. Bhishma took Satyavati to the kingdom to his father. Shantanu was shocked to learn about the terrible vow that Bhishma had taken so that he could remarry. Out of great love for his son, he granted Bhishma the boon of being able to choose when he dies, or Ichha Mrityu. Shantanu and Satyavati marries, and very soon they have two boy children named Chitrangada and Vichitravirya. Soon after those two boys were born, Shantanu passes away. What are some of the insights from this story? We learned that having a decisive mind is very important. A confused mind like the one that Shantanu had caused him a lot of problem. Shantanu was miserable because of his love towards Satyavati and also his love towards Devavrata, and he was not able to make a choice. His mind was not able to listen to his intellect's choice. His body was getting sick because of his mind, which was not healthy. Having a clear set of values in the intellect and making your mind follow those values with joyfulness, again emphasizing joyfulness, is very important. Otherwise, you are just dragging on in life. Bhishma was a clear choice for a king after Shantanu. Bhishma was trained by 7 great teachers: Brihaspati and Shukracharya, the art of political science, again Vashishta for scripture, Sanat Kumars for mental and spiritual sciences, Markandeya for the duties of the Brahmanas, and from Parshurama and Indra about art of war and various weapons, right? So he was definitely the king, and he was the best king possible. So having a clear, decisive mind which can follow the orders of the intellect is very, very important. And so training the mind is essential in this world. Second, most important insight here is that it is never good to sacrifice younger generation's happiness for the older generation. The older generation has enjoyed all the riches that the life has to offer. Let us not make decisions that impact the younger generations in a bad way. Let us not indulge ourselves over excessively. Living life with ashram dharma would be very useful here. Ashram dharma in Hinduism is one of the 4 age-based life stages which emphasizes what one needs to focus on during a specific period in one's life, which will allow to maximize the full potential of human birth. In Shantanu's case, he should have retired at this age and not wish to marry again to Satyavati and let Bhishma marry and get settled down. Think, this is very important. Not leaving our children in debt, not destroying the climate today by overindulging, that will make it impossible for the future generation of children to grow up, are some of the examples for us to learn from this incident. What do you think will happen next? Will Satyavati's son Chitrangada and Vichitravilya actually become the kings as per Satyavati's wishes? To find out the answer, stay tuned for the next video. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. This way I'll get feedback from whether you're actually liking the content that I created, and subscribing to the channel will give you notifications of the new videos that I upload. If you have questions for me or a comment about this video, please put them in the comments section below. Again, if you got value out of this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching.